Hello, I'm Seth Peacock, and today I'm going to show you how to merge in FamilySearch. Here I have the page of somebody who has a duplicate. We can see that there's a data problem indicating there's a duplicate. If we scroll down the page and go to possible duplicates, we'll be brought to this page. From here we can review the merge. As we start off, we don't want to merge these two people if they aren't the same. So let's start by assuming they're not the same and try to find what shows that they are the same. So we see they have the same name. They have approximately the same birth. This one gives an about, and that's pretty close to this year, 1805 and 1803. And then we have a Stanford and Stanfordshire. So that's similar, and the death is similar. And then let's look at what else is here. Not much else. There's not even a source. Excellent. I suspect that these two are the same person. Although the birth is vague here on the left, it is pretty close to the birth on the right, and the death is also pretty close. So the details that these two people are sharing are at least somewhat unique. I would doubt that there's another William Neild who was born and died about the same time. Maybe if the names that we were working with were a bit more generic, then I'd possibly hesitate in attaching them. But it seems somewhat unique, and so I think they're the same person. I'm going to look at the changes on one of the Williams. We can do that by going to his person page and then show all under latest changes. It'll bring us to this page. Here we see that it was FamilySearch who originally added this William back in 2012. From my understanding, I mean, maybe this is mostly just rumors, but from my understanding in the family history library, I heard when the changes are shown to be by FamilySearch in 2012, that's an indication that it was like FamilySearch was moving from an old system to a new system. So this person might have existed in a previous system. I'm not sure if it was digital or mainly paper, but it's been my experience that many of the duplicates I've seen, they were originally added by FamilySearch. I'm going to go down to the page of this William and see who added this one. This one's also added by FamilySearch. Yeah, so I suspect that for whatever reason, FamilySearch had duplicate records before, and maybe it was because there's a person, two separate people who are related that were entering Williams, and they just didn't line up or match up somehow. Okay, so now I'm going to merge the two. I'll click yes, continue. On this page, we have the option of adding information from the person on the right to the person on the left. For this merge, I'm not going to do that because the information on the right is more specific and it's better. So I'll go down to the bottom, click continue, and then I'll want to include my reasons for a merge. In this case, I think using one of these suggested reason statements will work well. I'll do this one. If there's particular things that were a concern or that you were looking at, you may want to make note of those specifically. But in our case, it was the vital information being name, birth, death, those things. Well, I guess, oops. I'll remove the relationships part because it was just the vital information. And we also see that FamilySearch includes the ID numbers, and that's something I would recommend even if you manually type it out or manually give your reasons. And we do that because it makes it easier to unmerge people, to separate them out. If it was a mistake, having these two IDs helps in that scenario. Okay, now I'll finish the merge and we are done. So that example was pretty simple. It was somewhat obvious that they were the same. There was same name, similar birth date, similar death date. In cases where it's not so obvious, it might be best just to leave it alone and maybe search for more records on each of the persons to see if they are different. Something that might also be kind of helpful is just to search up maybe the name and just see how generic it is. So if you're not sure, don't merge them together. You can wait till someone else who has maybe a bit more expertise comes along and sees what happened. And can tease out the situation. Another thing to consider when merging is think about why there's two duplicates. In this situation, I think it was because FamilySearch was adding it from old records or something, and it ended up adding it twice. In other scenarios, you might see one person was added by FamilySearch or was added older, and then another person added later. Another common example is for people who have recently passed away. Their descendants might change the status of the person on their tree, and when they would do that, it would go from living to deceased, and if they're not careful about it, it would end up just adding the same person over again for each person who's going back and adding that person as deceased. So for example, if your grandparent was to pass away and you went in and changed them to deceased, that would add them to the public tree, because the public tree is people who are deceased, and if somebody's living, FamilySearch doesn't show that. So it'd add it to the public tree. And then if your brother or sibling or cousin were to do the same thing, change your grandparent from living to deceased, and they weren't careful about it, they would end up adding the same grandparent over again to the tree. And so it would show the same person twice. That might be another scenario where you run into duplicates. So that's a little bit about merging. I wish you good luck, and bye-bye.